Hey there, everybody. Sorry for being a stranger. The the addition to our family has definitely taken its toll on my ability to sleep and gather thoughts and get things done around here. And sometimes it feels a little weird shooting a video where it's just philosophical or where I'm speaking extemporaneously and not really having anything to show you that is new or different or exciting or any of those things. But um, yeah, something is new and different and kind of exciting. So here I am, and hopefully there you are. So let's turn the camera around and let's talk about something I'm doing. We are looking at the hood of my car, and what we have in front of us are 17 little pawpaw seedlings. And I will tell you right now, I did not expect 17 little pawpaw seedlings. Some of them are, let's say, puny, but some of them have like a really good taproot on them. You can see that there's quite a bit of root growth and root development, even though the shoot is very small. Some of them you can see, like this one right here, have their taproot developed, very few feeder roots, and a growth tip that was nicked off and is now growing a side shoot. And there are a couple like this. This one has like the beefiest of the roots going. You can see the root is yay big, and then the shoot is about the same, but the same little pattern here where the initial growth tip had been broken off or chewed off and a side shoot has come to replace it. And so now that I have considerably more pawpaws than I thought, I have to find considerably more places to plant them. So let's find a few spots and talk about some of the things going on. Currently, we are towards the north and eastern boundaries of the property. You can see one of the Carolina allspice growing next to this pawpaw that is a few years old and has been sending up some suckers. And about 10-ish feet away is our shovel. And I have worked this guy into the soil a little bit. We've loosened it up just a smidge, but you can see that the shade is really reaching to where the shovel is. And so we're going to stick one of these guys right in here. And the nice thing about how small these are and how little they have in the way of feeder roots is that I don't have to worry too much about the damaging of the roots or about making sure that they are spread evenly. This is a perfectly acceptable state to plant these in with just a slice of the earth peeled open. One thing that's really interesting, I'll grab that one back for just a moment, is this huge hunk of biochar. Remember, it's biochar because I made it with the express intent of burying it for carbon sequestration. And one of these roots is just plowing right into it. It's huge. And so it's a little bit soggy when I feel it. I'm not going to crush it because I don't want to hurt the root. But I think that the biochar in the air prune boxes was a good decision. But I think that using aged biochar, something that has had a little bit more time to absorb more of biological acids and exudates and things of that nature, will only improve the results of using it in such a way. But I do genuinely feel pretty good about using it. And so we're gonna give this guy a little bit more of a wiggle. You can see the small slice I have made. It is just about fingers depth apart at this point. And we are just going to work this little guy right in. Right? And so let me zoom just a little bit so that hopefully we can make out what it is that you're looking at. And so you can see where the topmost roots are coming to, and there's that slight bulge right there, and that is what I'm aiming to have right at the soil level. And so I'm going to start by just pressing down with my hands just to sort of get it in place, and then without losing track of it, I'm going to come in. Oh, I lost track of it. I'm going to come in, and I'm just going to step on the other side of it. And then where the other guy was. And that's it. You can barely see it. What I'm going to do is just kind of finish firming it up. We've got our little sprout right there. And all I'm going to do is just lightly rip some of the grass around this and hope that this little lady here does not peck at my toes while I'm doing this, because that is how they've chosen to try and get my attention, by pecking at my toes. The ducks will do it too, but the ducks don't have sharp beaks. So there we have it. I've got a little patch of grass just cleared a little bit around it. We'll come back when we're done planting these handful to do all of our mulching and things. So let's go do the next ones. We're only 25 to 30 feet away from that last one. We can see one of the sadder looking rooted cuttings from the purple flowering raspberry that I've transplanted. And we are in the shade of one of those trees. This is a pretty perpetual shade, and in the space where I am thinking about planting this, which is going to be down among some of these mossier bits on the soil surface, we can tell both from the state of the quote-unquote lawn, the pasture area, and where the branches are, and where that other tree is, that this is a fairly shady spot. And it will be good for the young pawpaw seedlings, the two that we have left at the moment, for going in here. And so I can tell that there's enough light to let things grow, because we have some autumn olive that is going to get replaced, and a black cherry or two, and a small oak sapling, really more of a young tree underpinning this tamarack. And so just to add to the softer landings and to add to the biological complexity of this space, we're going to add in two of the pawpaws, and we'll hope for the best for them. We can come back and mulch them again, just like the other one, but we'll have them in an easily accessible spot. They will be close enough to be pollination partners for the two that are over there. And in the space where the tree had fallen, I think I'd like to do a few more, but those will need a little bit more additional protection and a little bit more of a consideration, because that space is a sunny gap. But let's get these two in and we'll go from there. So now we have a pawpaw just in the center of this little mulch circle. You can see its stem and single leaf right there, with a little bit of space before the wood chips start. Part of that is because the chickens are out foraging and they love these little mulch piles. And so we've got a little one just to the north, and then a raspberry, and then a pawpaw, and then some of the volunteer blueberries and strawberries coming up. and another raspberry planted to the south of this tamarack and these oaks. And so we're just slowly building out our satellite of this, being very careful not to hit large roots. I realize that that's very tricky to do when you are exploring and digging into try and make these gardens or expand the footprint around an established tree. But the trick of it is to insert the shovel and step very gingerly and slowly. We're not trying to go super hard and fast. We're just feeling as though the shovel is an extension of our feet, where things are. When you meet resistance, it's okay to give it a little wiggle and to see if it feels like wood that is resisting you or a stone that is resisting you. Use your hearing, use the sound. You can see one of these girls coming over, and this is actually exactly why I didn't want the mulch ring coming all the way up to the pawpaw itself, because the little mulch piles are almost like a chicken calling card. So we're just heading back to grab up a few more of those young pawpaws and to move to another section of the property. And I don't know, the pawpaws feel like a good metaphor in this moment. There's only ever so much effort or exertion or progress that you can make that you're going to be viscerally aware of, or that you're going to feel confident in showing people or yourself or things of that nature. But even when it feels like there's no motion, there's always something going on, as long as we're doing those small adjustments and those small additions or subtractions. Every input that we put forth, every bit of effort makes a small difference, and those small differences add up. Even when you don't feel like they're moving, and they're doing, and things are reacting and responding to your actions, your intentions, the feeling you put in, the care that you put in, the mineral or material goodness that you put in. All of those make a difference. And so, I don't know. Sometimes it is tough to feel like updates are justified, but there's always motion going on somewhere. And you can barely make it out, but there's a pawpaw in this little patch of dirt here. And likewise, there is another one in a little patch of dirt right in there. And a vole somewhere behind me. And then over by the tree line, or where the second fence is, that's the older fence that we're working on removing as we go. But I've taken the liberty of taking out a few of the young maples that were under the taller ones, and have replaced those with a handful of pawpaws. I do think those are going to need a little bit more attention and protection, and so we're going to be adding a few more things in there, and we'll make, I guess, another video about that as we do it. I have, I don't know, 9 or 10 more pawpaws to do. I think I'll do a few down into the woods a bit. Maybe one for a companion for the one that's way down there. And yeah, I've got a few more to do. It's going to take a little bit of time, but that's what I have, are little bits of time. And my appreciation for you all spending these little bits of time with me. It's a little bit difficult, I won't lie. The knowledge that tree nursery channels are the lowest performing on YouTube, or among the lowest performing on YouTube, does factor into it. But by the same token, I don't know. It feels silly to post videos constantly when there is little progress to show for it, or at least it feels like there isn't as much progress as would be appropriately inspiring for you, or showcase some cool technique or anything like that. I am far from the type of person who believes that whatever I say is awesome and interesting all the time. And so, yeah, I am unsure how the next few weeks will go, but I will make a concerted effort to bring you folks along with the small tasks that I'm doing this fall. And yeah, I guess keep your eyes peeled. We'll update the numbers on the website and put out a little text post just to let folks know that ordering is available. We do have plants that you can order from us. And if you missed out on sales or order windows from the nurseries that exist in this same kind of space, and who are a little bit more on the ball this time of year than I happen to be, great, awesome. I hope you'll place an order with us and look forward to those. But yeah, I'm just going to keep plugging along while Juniper is asleep, not on me. And then I will go in and do the whole dad thing. But until next time, thanks for watching. Happy planting.